EA Sports coverage of the National Football League brings us to historic Baltimore, Maryland and M&T Bank Stadium. Today, after a crazy opening weekend, it's on to week 2, and we've got a good one here between the Cleveland Browns and the Baltimore Ravens. The final weekend of the summer. Hope you're enjoying it wherever you are as we are off and running on EA Sports. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully. They start on the ground with Nick Chubb, and not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26. Well, this defense for the Ravens, terrific last week in the season opening victory.
And as in any game, takeaways are always a big key. They're always discussed on defense. There's an emphasis there, and they came away with 3 interceptions in that game.
The last play got just a yard. Here's 2nd and 9 from the 26. Off of play action, it's Watson. He's got Njoku, his big tight end. So give him 5 yards there on the pitch and catch. And now we've got a 3rd down and 3.
Let's not quibble about the gain there on 2nd down. That was a positive play because that was a take-what-you-can-get situation. Got out to the tight end. Now it gives them a much better opportunity to convert on 3rd down.
3rd play of this opening drive as they're looking at a 3rd and 3. Here's Watson. He's got his tight end, David Njoku. And he is going to have a Browns first down by a couple of yards as they're able to convert here on 3rd and 3. Well, they kept it simple there, CD, only needing the short gain to move the chain, so they didn't want to go with a deep throw. They just go with that safer, shorter throw and able to convert.
Nothing wrong with that at all, partner. Check the box, right? Make sure you pick up the first down. Offense is getting established. You're moving the ball. You're not turning it over. Check, check, check. They like what they're doing early in the game.
And that's good for a pickup of 10 yards. And they'll be left with a 2nd and about a foot. They go up the middle with Chubb. And he'll get it out a couple yards shy of midfield at the 48. Only a gain of a yard, but that's all they needed.
2nd and inches is oftentimes an invitation for an offense coordinator to take a big shot downfield because he feels like he can come back on 3rd down and pick up the first down. But sometimes you just don't want to break tendency. Stay with what you are, stay with who you know, and go get the first down. That's exactly what they did.
Now a throw here going to be taken in by the tight end Njoku. And they're going to get this to about the 44-yard line. But yet another completion here on this opening drive, and he's now perfect 4 of 4 to start. Pretty solid execution here.
And how about how everyone's handled their nerves? Because you know what it's like to start a ball game. You're so amped up and ready to go that sometimes the execution isn't there. They've been flawless so far. Well drilled, well prepared, and excited to start this game.
They go with Chubb on 2nd down. And here he'll be brought down a little shy of the 35 at the 36. That one, a first down pickup of 8.
Usually we see runs like this as the defense breaks down later in the game, but this guy is setting the tone early, running through all types of tackles and putting the defense back on its heels.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. And again, it's Chubb. And the play goes nowhere. Losing yardage back near the 40 at the 39. Call it a full 3 yards in the wrong direction there. Brings up second down.
Part of their struggles last week was getting these negative plays on first and second down. That's something they have to be wary of as this game continues.
So their task a little bit more difficult now. 2nd and 13 that they're walking up on. They'll try the draw now with Chubb, and he'll get 4 here down to the 35-yard line.
On any running play that's called, they're always hoping that it's going to break big and go the distance. But when you get a nice gain like that, you're able to do so many things anyway. You can come back and run essentially the same play again, continue to move the ball on the ground, or you can decide to throw the ball now because usually you have the defense back on its heels.
Over the middle, Amari Cooper, it's complete. And he's going to be taken down with the first down at the Ravens' 26. Give him 10 yards there as this offense is on a roll. This drive continues to plunge forward. On first down, they'll run with Chubb. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up. Well done to sniff that out defensively. He had it diagnosed pretty quickly.
I love that description because diagnosed is perfect on that one. Read his keys, made the play, and he couldn't even get going moving the football.
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. Chubb on the counter. And he'll be taken down near the 20 at the 21. Give him 3 yards, and now they're left needing a conversion here on 3rd and 6. Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
The 13th play now coming on this opening drive. Here's 3rd down. Out of the gun, Watson. This is the tight end, Njoku. And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
That's a big conversion there on 3rd down, and this has been a great opening drive. You know, at this point, they'd hate to settle for 3, but they've created a fresh set of downs and a 1st and goal.
1st and goal, a chance for an early statement here on the road. They'll run with Chubb. Trying to run inside, but nothing there. They'll say no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd and goal. We talk about defenders, specifically linebackers, keeping their eyes in the right spot. He had that eye down the entire time.
And you know that's not easily done because they throw a lot of misdirection at you. They try and fool you and get your eyes in the wrong place. But you're right about that one. He correctly figured that one out and made a really nice play.
They'll try again with Chubb. And this time they were waiting for him as he'll be knocked down before he can get back to the line of scrimmage. It'll go as no gain on the play, and now they're looking at a 3rd and goal. Driven it down the field nicely here on the opening drive, but now it's put up or shut up.
No doubt about it, because to make that type of a drive and ultimately kick a field goal would feel very disappointing. But I'm just wondering, is the head coach thinking, is this 4-down territory? Might he go for it?
And that's going to be caught for a Browns touchdown. Amari Cooper, his first touchdown of the new season. And the Browns are on the board first on the road here in Baltimore. Extra point by York is up and good. And that makes the score 7-0. Here is Wishnowski to boot it away following the touchdown. And Williams going to sit on this one. It'll be a touchback. Jackson and the Ravens come up now 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. They'll try and start this drive in the air. He's got his man. It's Andrews. And from the 25, they work this to the 29, a gain of 4.
Brandon, to me, what's important right here on this drive is for them to get at least 2 first downs. They've got to give their defense a chance to settle down, catch their breath a little bit after they give up a touchdown on the opening drive.
2nd and 6, just inside the 30. And he'll take this to the 32, a gain of about 3.
Some of the most unselfish players on any football team, defensive tackles, because we ask them to just eat up blocks and allow other people to make tackles. But when he can make a play himself, as we just saw there, that's a big day.
Coming up here looking for 3 yards to pick up the first. Jackson looking to throw on 3rd. He'll buy some time right. And now look at this. Big gain, but a fumble. Wait a second. They declined the penalty?
I'm as puzzled as you are, partner. I don't know.
Faking the give. Now Watson. And this is what here? Incomplete, they say. It looked like it was intercepted, but he apparently did not get the 2 feet down in bounds. Defensively, celebration time because they finally forced an incompletion. He was perfect throwing the ball to that point.
Yeah, but from his viewpoint, they didn't force the incompletion. He just missed. That's how hot he is right now, and that's how he wants to continue to throw the ball.
An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Watson now to throw. And this time he's got the hookup. It's complete. 5 yards. Now it's 3rd and 5.
All that practice time came to fruition on that play. All those timing routes that they work on through training camp, OTAs, minicamp, and just regular season, they got it done on that one. An outcut, ball was delivered, and picked up the completion.
And this offense on 3rd down today, a perfect 4 for 4 thus far. This will be 3rd and 5. Back to throw, Watson. Throwing middle, and it's complete. And they're going to be set up now with a ball at the 13-yard line. Well, like so many wide receivers, he is a threat with the ball in his hands, and he's able to do his damage here after the catch.
And I caught a quick glimpse of him before the ball was snapped, and there was something about his body language where you could tell early in this play he wasn't just thinking first down. He was thinking end zone, and he got there.
And Chubb will try the middle here. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. Stopped by the safety, Kyle Hamilton. It shows you right there, he can do more than just cover in the secondary from that free safety position.
Yeah, the evolution of the position has really been significant, hasn't it? Because a lot of teams no longer have a free safety, strong safety designation. They just have safeties. So wherever the ball is, one can be close to the line of scrimmage, one can be deep, and vice versa. On that play,
now the pressure gets there, and he goes down just inside the 20 at the 19. Blowing that play up, Roquan Smith as he gets the sack.
They just gave up a sack there, and if I'm not mistaken, they gave up 4 last week, didn't they?
Yes, and just looking really porous, aren't they?
They really are, and I'm wondering if they're going to have to start thinking about keeping the tight end in, maybe a back, someone to help assist, because right now their quarterback's been getting hit a lot in the last couple of games.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. This is caught. Touchdown, Browns. Kendall Hinton from 19 yards away. And the Browns have taken a 2-touchdown lead now. Extra point by York is up and good. And it's now 14-0. Here is Wisnowski to boot it away following the touchdown. And a short kick taken at about the 16. And they've got it up past the 35, so pretty good starting field position. The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going. Now, early on, Charles, every game could be called a measuring stick game, but I think when it comes within your division like this, it's a measuring stick game with a little extra intrigue.
I would agree with that totally because all division games have a little extra to them, but I like where this game is situated because at this stage of the season, it has that little extra juice, but at the same time, it's not a make or break if this were, let's say, week 15, 16, somewhere in that neighborhood.
They'll try again from the 36 on 2nd and 10. Here's Jackson to throw. That's complete. It's Rashad Bateman. 9 yards, not quite enough, and they'll be left now with 3rd and 1.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
So they just need 1 yard here to pick up the first down. And he brings this up to the 46. Good enough for the first. The Ravens at 1-0 on the year following the win in Week 1, and they were able to get that road victory in the opener. Now they look to get to 2-0 in front of the home crowd.
And look, any road win in the NFL, that's huge. But when you do it Week 1, that gets you pointed in the right direction and sends notice to the rest of the league that you mean business.
And this time, Jackson will throw it toward the sideline, and look at that catch. Dragging the toes, and that's going to be a first down. Well done. That one goes for 24 yards.
Well, these guys have definitely been outplayed in the first half. I like their countenance. I like the way that they haven't panicked out there, the way they're carrying themselves. They're starting to move the ball, and what you have to do, maintain your poise and start to put together some drives.
So a 1st and 10 upcoming from Browns territory now at the 30-yard line. Here's a handoff out of the gun. The play made defensively that time by Isaiah Thomas.
Brandon, 5 yards on that run. Let's get back to the huddle and make sure if you're a back, you spend time with your offensive line and give them credit. Hard to move those 300-plus pounders at the line of scrimmage, and they did for a significant chunk of yardage.
The first down run got 5. Here's 2nd and 5. Jackson now. And that'll be taken in by Andrews for a Ravens touchdown. A great play there. His 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Ravens have cut it back within a score. Tucker with the extra point, and that'll make our score 14-7. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. And he'll decide to not bring this one out as their drive will begin at the 25. The Browns drive about to get started. Well, this offense looks like they have a little extra pep in their step as they take the field here for drive number 3, because remember, Charles, drives 1 and 2 both ended in the end zone.
Yeah, and right now they've just got to be careful not to lean into overconfidence, because every drive has a life of its own. But I like the way that they've started, the way that they're going about doing things right now. They've got a chance for that 3rd consecutive touchdown, and that would be a crushing blow to the defense.
So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. They run it again with Chubb. And he's upended after a gain of 2 out to the 27.
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're now doing the dictating on defense. And guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature to make sure you don't get hurt.
Throwing on 3rd down, Watson. And that is incomplete.
As a corner, you have to be able to run with guys step for step downfield of man coverage and make up ground quickly in zone. You have to put yourself in position to make plays just like that one we saw there.
Wisnowski on to punt as he sends this one away. Here's Williams to return. And that'll be a return of 12 following a very nice punt. And the Ravens, they'll take over. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. A long drive last time out for this offense, Charles. If you remember, they started basically in the shadows of their own end zone, marched it down the field, and a lot of that was through the passing game.
And partner, as a former defensive back, I'm having almost a physical reaction watching what's happening right now. But let's give credit where it's due, because they've done an excellent job moving the ball through the air. Secondary getting picked apart pass by pass. Obviously, they need to make some adjustments there on the back end.
Yeah, because offensively, we know that they're not going to be shy about throwing that football.
And a nice gain and a broken tackle along the way, and really we shouldn't be surprised, should we? That's what runners do, especially the best ones. They break tackles and gain extra yardage.
Off the play fake, here's Jackson. Now that's going to be caught. It's James Prochet. And the tackle going to be made at the 38.
2nd and short, that's a rundown, so it's definitely a good time to go play action if you're feeling it. And they do so and pick up a 1st down.
And they'll run on the inside handoff. And nothing much materializing there on the 1st down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it. In on the tackle is the lineman, Perrion Winfrey. We've hit the 2-minute mark of the 2nd quarter, 14-7. Line of scrimmage, the 36 on 2nd and 8. Hands it off out of the gun. Fighting his way down to about the 35-yard line. They follow up the gain of 2 with a gain of 1 that time. So 3rd down, they need to get to the 28 for a first. Jackson. And this almost intercepted. Not sure he saw the free safety that time, but lucky, incomplete. That'll bring up 4th down. So Jackson will head to the Ravens sideline, and on comes Justin Tucker for the field goal try. From the left hash, this will be a 52-yard attempt. Tucker's kick is good, and they'll cut the lead back down to 4 now at 14-10. So they're able to end that drive with 3 points in this one-possession ball game.
And ideally, you want to end every drive with points. Most quarterbacks would tell you, let's end it with a kick, right? A PAT, that's number 1. Field goal you'll take. Punts, you really don't want to do that. In this case, they'll take the field goal and get prepared for the rest of the game.
The Browns drive about to get started. As we eke closer and closer to intermission, Charles, remember last time out they punted. They would love to get points here, especially if this is going to be their final possession of the first half.
Yeah, and this is what close games feel like because the pressure is on both sides, but sometimes the pressure is a little bit higher on the team with the slight edge because they're trying to hold on to that, trying to increase it. Let's see how this one continues.
3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. Now Watson. Open man. Here's Schwartz, complete. That'll go for a gain of 7, and that'll leave him with a 3rd and just a yard. Watson. And he's going to be out of bounds inside the 25-yard line. Big yardage there on the scramble. It gets him a first down.
Well, here's your first example of how this guy can beat you in more ways than one because they took away his arm, but he was more than happy to dissect them with his legs for that first down pickup.
So the big play gets him all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone here for 1st and 10. From the gun, here's Watson. Looking middle, and that's complete. Now the Browns will use the first of their 3 timeouts as they get it right at the 32nd mark of this first half.
Good strong throw and catch right there. And so far in this game, the alleys have been open for them to get completions, and they're taking advantage of it.
Here's a 1st and 10 at the 14-yard line. From the red zone now, Watson. Oh, the ball is out. Watson lost it. But I think Brown was able to recover, and they'll indeed hold on to the ball here. Now another timeout called for by the offense. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. The fumble on first down now. Here's 2nd down. Watson now going to run the option right. And he'll fight his way down right around the 12. The Browns will quickly use their 3rd and final timeout as they stop it with 19 seconds to go in half number 1.
Anytime you decide to use your quarterback as a runner, most of the time when you design a play, you're expected to break a little bit bigger than this one because when you run him on short gains, your risk-reward and him taking hits, I'm not sure that's the payoff they were.
And this is caught. Touchdown, Cleveland. Deshaun Watson with his 3rd touchdown pass of this first half. And the Browns would extend their lead here just before halftime. Extra point by York is up and good. And that makes it a 21-10 game. So not much time to speak of remaining in this first half as the kick's away. And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee and they'll bring the football out to the 25. The Baltimore offense at the line set to get going. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
Well, last game he had 2 sacks, got another one here, picked up right where he left off.
Brandon, he spent the entire offseason working on new moves, new techniques, trying to add to his arsenal of pass rush moves, certainly paying dividends in what we've seen so far.
Now whistles and a timeout with 3 seconds left in the first half. Final play of the half here. It's Jackson. And he's going to go down. Couldn't get a throw off with the pressure. Maybe that was for the best, as that brings us to the end of this first half of play. So we have reached halftime here in an 11-point contest. As we'll send you down to Orlando, and we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. Welcome back. Charles and I settled into the booth, ready for quarter number 3. The Ravens set to receive the football, trailing here as we resume action in the third quarter. From the end zone, here comes Williams. And beyond the 20, but not by much. In fact, just a yard pass there to the 21. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. And right out of the gate, they face what you'd think could be a pretty important drive.
I would say so. You know, they're down 2 scores. That's not the end of the world. It wasn't the strongest of first halves, but for them to start clawing back, they've got to start putting a little pressure on that defense, start cutting into this deficit. You can't have 3 and outs and expect to get that done.
2nd and 8 coming up. Jackson. That would complete to Prochet. He'll be dropped after a gain of about 6 across the 30 to the 31.
When you decide to run a hitch route, it really helps to have a guy who can turn it loose. And, boy, he rifled one in there on that one. Not much run after catch, but it worked really well.
Now they'll pitch it out here. Oh, he's got a little daylight. There he goes, right side. And all the way in for a Ravens touchdown. A great effort there. His 2nd rushing touchdown on the year. And the Ravens come right out of the locker room and score here in the opening minute of the third quarter.
Third down, as a defender, all you're thinking about is getting off the field. How do you stop this last play? But if you don't wrap up when you tackle and you play it back like this, all of a sudden he's taking it to the house, and now you're looking at each other wondering, what did we do wrong on that play?
And this one is caught. So they come up with a 2-point conversion, and that makes this a 1-point game now. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. The Browns drive about to get started. And maybe some renewed pressure on this unit following the touchdown a moment ago. It's back to a 1-score game.
And because of that pressure, because it's now a 1-score game, they know this is where you need to slow the momentum change, because otherwise that could overrun your team. You've got to be careful right here.
In the first half, he was held in check on the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
Yeah, and they've got to feel fortunate about that. If they could actually get production from their lead horse, that would help open up this offense and widen this margin too.
And he'll be brought down right around the 37. 7 yards there and a first down.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here, because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time and making it work.
Up the middle, it's Chubb. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
You've got to be impressed by that defensive front on reps like those. They were not being moved off the line, kept their shoulders square, and gave their teammates time to fight to the ball and limit that gain.
The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. A shotgun snap for Watson. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. He'll wind up losing a full 9 yards here on the sack. Now it's 3rd down.
One thing that I liked about this guy during the draft process was his motor. Of course, I loved his skills, but he plays hard on every down.
And that motor on full display there as he gets his first NFL sack. 3rd and long. It's Watson. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
And that's a really good job there defensively. They went into this possession knowing that they needed to get a stop. They're in a tight ball game, and they got it done. Great work to force the 3 and out. Got the football right back for their offense. They've got to go to the sidelines feeling pretty good about themselves and encouraging their offensive mates to get some points.
It's a return of 4 following a 42-yard punt. And they will take over 1st and 10. The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going. And as the offense begins another drive here, pretty simple, Charles. They want to carbon copy what happened the last time out when they ended their drive in the end zone.
You're right about that, partner. Sounds pretty simple, doesn't it? Just score again, but we know it's not that simple because we don't just make adjustments at halftime. If you're a good football team, you spend that time on the sideline, you study what's on the notes and the tablets, and you make those adjustments, prevent a repeat of the last drive. Series to series, the best teams, that's how they get it done.
And we'll find out here soon enough whether those adjustments are enough defensively. Decided to hand it off that time on the run-pass option.
Appeared to be an easy decision. Just gave it inside. Nice steady gain.
They'll come to the line, needing only 2 yards to gain the first here. 3rd and 2. Here's Jackson. And he went backwards. He'll be down at the 30. So they'll wind up losing 7 on the play. And that's going to bring up a 4th down.
When you lose that kind of yardage on a pass play, you often expect it to be a sack. But that wasn't the case there. They completed the pass. Probably would have been better off just dropping the football and making an incompletion as opposed to catching it and losing that kind of yardage.
So they're forced to punt on 4th as this one's away. So a good punt there, but a nice return of 11 yards. And the Browns will take over 1st and 10. The Browns drive about to get started. And our game's hit a little bit of a lull here, a little bit of a snag, punts on back-to-back drives.
And old school coaches don't necessarily mind that. Didn't turn it over, right? Didn't create a big play for the other team. Right now what you're looking for is can you gain an advantage in field position? And that's what both teams are seeking right now.
Yeah, they'll be seeking to gain that advantage here on this drive. They'll fake the handoff. Now Watson. Looking deep in the direction of Cooper. And the defense has it covered. It's intercepted. Picked off by Marlon Humphrey. And the Ravens will have solid field position here as they take over at their 45-yard line. Boy, that one was in the air for an agonizingly long time.
Just begging to be picked off, wasn't it? It's one thing if you're throwing a ball like that, trying to throw someone open or lead them into an area. But that ball needed to be thrown with a lot more conviction. As a result, it's an easy interception.
And Jackson cannot get away, and he'll go down. Buried by multiple defenders on the drive's first play.
Well, they've got the lead, but it's certainly not a big one. And how do you keep control of that lead? Certainly not by that last play there. They gave up a big sack on the first play of this drive. Now it's double the distance to the first down marker.
Well, they're in some hot water now. After that sack, it's 2nd and 21. Now it's Jackson. That's into the hands of Prochet. And he'll be out of bounds up near the 45 at the 44. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets them up for 3rd down.
In so many ways, throwing the hitch route is actually one of the safer things an offense can do. Get the ball out to the receiver as fast as possible, hope he's got man-to-man coverage, and hope that his athleticism wins on the perimeter.
It looks like a nickel set now for the Browns on 3rd down. From the gun, it's Jackson. Open man is Bateman. It's complete. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. That gain on 3rd down, good for 28.
Well, we always hear about the connections some quarterbacks have with certain receivers. I think this guy has a connection with just about everyone. Didn't mind throwing it in there against double coverage to him.
Shows some confidence, supreme confidence.
Big-time confidence that he would make the play for him, and he did.
Stopped at the 24-yard line after a gain of 5.
Hey, let's face it, you can put any Halloween costume on him. You're not going to be able to disguise him because for a tight end of his size, difficult to sneak him anywhere, but that's what they tried to do. Lined up on his right, tried to work his way back to his left, but just a minimal gain as the defense was able to react quickly.
From the gun, they'll try to run it. Looking for a seam, but finding none. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. They'll say no gain on the play there, and now it'll be 3rd down.
When you try to create space for your running back, the first thought is how physical is the offensive line? Sometimes it's just positioning. On that play, it didn't matter about positioning or being physical. The defensive front, they out-leveraged them and won the battle.
Meanwhile, on 3rd down, they take a shot at the end zone, but it's incomplete. They don't get the hook up there, but you really have to marvel at how precise he's been throwing the football these last couple weeks.
Oh, that's the perfect word for it, precise, because if you're at 70% or better 2 weeks in a row, you have a job as long as you want one in this league, won't you? I mean, let's face it, it's not just West Coast offense either. He's putting the ball downfield as well.
Tucker's kick is good, and that will even our score at 21. So, Charles, they get to them with their first turnover of the game and then make it hurt a little bit extra with a field goal.
And anytime you give the ball up, what's the first thing a coach tells his defense? Don't let them score off of this. You've got to put out the fire. In fact, in 2021, that's what one NFL coach termed his defense, the firemen. Go out there, guys, and don't let them put some points on the board.
The Browns drive about to get started. And we'll see if they can bounce back from that last drive, in particular, if they can bounce back at the quarterback position, Charles, after throwing their first interception of the ball game.
Yeah, and some guys, you know they're going to want to try and get a big play right away and take control back. Others, they're going to want to look to hit a couple shorter passes and get a little momentum back that way.
But for the defense, that goal's not changing a bit. They want another pick.
You're exactly right about that. In fact, you've got to watch them a little bit because in coverage, they may cut down their gaps a little bit, maybe their splits a little bit in order to try and get to the ball even faster.
A give. This is Chubb. And not a whole lot of room to operate there on the first down run. He gets maybe 3.
Not a huge carry there on first down, but not all of them will be. But still, all in all, a positive play for the offense. It's all about picking up at least a few to set up what you're going to do here on 2nd down.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. Handoff comes to Chubb. And across midfield he goes into Raven territory. 45 yards rushing for him now in the ball game.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
So they'll get a little extra time to come up with his 3rd down play as we've played 3 quarters. You are watching the NFL on EA Sports. A field goal from this spot likely out of the question. They've got to get closer here on 3rd down. Off of play action, it's Watson. He's got his tight end, David Njoku. And he's going to be taken down with the first down at the Ravens 28. Nice third down conversion and even 20 yards.
And partner, in a tie game in the fourth quarter, you and I both know in the NFL, that's when you lean on your stars. And he came through with a nice catch right there.
So signs of life in what's been a dormant offense in this second half. Here's 1st and 10. A give running right is Chubb. Stopped at the 24-yard line after a gain of 5.
They've created a nice sustained drive off of plays like that. A nice strong run there that keeps them advancing the ball.
After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5. Now Chubb running right. They'll get him to the ground at the 20 following a pickup of 4.
Well, if you're a football guy, that's a pretty run because everyone is in sync right there. Obviously, the guy carrying the ball, but how about the people up front? Leverage, athleticism, they created some nice space for him.
Trying to keep the drive going here. This is play number 7 on 3rd and 2. Now the Ravens going to use one of their timeouts. It's just their first. They'll be down to 2 remaining as we step aside here in the fourth quarter. The Ravens bring out an extra defensive back here on 3rd. They'll run for it. Here's Chubb. And he's going to have a first down here as he gets this one to the 17-yard line. A third down gain of 3 yards, and that'll be enough.
Most of their damage has been done through the air. I mean, they've rung the bell 3 times with passing touchdowns, but guess what? Ground game has not been neglected. Nice little burst right there.
So from the 17 now, here's a 1st and 10. A run for Nick Chubb, and he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. That's going to wind up a loss of a full 3 yards on first down.
That was well played there defensively. 2 tight ends in the formation, which essentially gave them 7 blockers up front. Hard to imagine with all that size and beef that they could let a tackler through, but that's exactly what happened. A loss resulted.
That loss of 3, a rare stumble on a promising drive. Here's 2nd and 13. And he's able to work it here to the 8-yard line. 65 yards rushing for him now to this point.
Well, partner, I know this type of running back. I mean, this size, this intensity usually gets better as the game goes on. I can just tell you from experience, the first few quarters, oh, you're eager. You come running up there, I'm going to tackle this guy. By the fourth quarter, you're coming up and thinking about it.
And D-line wearing down fourth quarter. Yeah, that's not a guy they want to see consistently. So they need 2 yards here on third down. Remember, they're already 2 of 2 on third down conversions on this drive. Now it's Watson. Hammering for the goal line. He loses the football. And it's picked up by the Ravens. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
Well, so much for the 4-minute offense. They were trying to reduce the clock, get in position to win the game, and leave no time for them to come back and catch them. And guess what? They turned the ball over.
Out, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they had it all set up for themselves, and they let it get away.
And they'll get him down up past the 15-yard line. Trying to find some space to operate, and now they'll have it. A gain of 12, a big first down to get away from the end zone.
I guess it's good we can't really read the mind of the defensive coordinator now, huh?
Had him pinned back there deep, give up that run. Can't be happy.
Yeah, whatever is in his mind right now, we probably couldn't say over the air.
A first down run, good for about 3. 2nd and 7 coming up.
Not a lot of running room there, not a place to make a cut and kind of exit out because they had everything bottled up. Looked to me like the linemen were taking on their blocks really well and giving up no creases.
From the gun, he'll hand this off. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. It'll be a loss of a couple on the play, so now 3rd down coming up.
Sometimes you get all those big guys down there in one spot, and there's just nowhere to go. And in this case, the defensive tackle used his strength and swallowed him up.
This offense so far on 3rd down, they've converted 3 times and 8 chances. This is 3rd and 9. Jackson from the shotgun. Complete. Jefferson the target. And some room to roam now. And he's taken down right at the 45-yard line. Last play, they didn't even get back to the line of scrimmage. Now they gain almost 40 yards here. And CD, we have seen some great runs the last few times we've been together, but I think we could at least put this one in our top 5. That was a determined gallop there. So the big play moves them all the way across midfield. It's 1st and 10 from the 45. Here's a handoff out of the gun. And he gets it inside the 35 and just shy of the 30. And between the last 2 plays, they've moved it over half the length of the football field.
Another carry for their leader and a good one. It's crunch time. They'll need him to continue to be productive in both the run and passing game in order for them to try and snatch a victory.
Right back to him on 1st down. And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere. Officially no gain on the play, and it's 2nd down. Nice job there defensively to clamp down because really they've been on their heels this drive.
Agreed, and they really needed that one for confidence, just to feel a little bit better. But I don't know if I would be daunted by them stopping me on one run. This drive has gone pretty well. I could come right back at them.
On 2nd down, here's Jackson. Under pressure, and he will go down. Sacked back at the 38. Whistles now in a timeout defensively. So a wise move as they'll use the first of their timeouts to force one more play before the 2-minute warning. A potential field goal, if you're thinking about that, almost 55 yards from here as they try to get closer on 3rd down. Here's Jackson. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. And he's going to be taken down just shy of the 35. All tied up, less than 2 minutes to go. So here comes Justin Tucker in a big spot. This for the lead in the final stages. Tucker's kick is good, and they have taken the lead here in the final 2 minutes. Big kick right there to give them the lead in the 4th, but there is still time left for a final drive.
Did they score too soon? Post-game will tell us, right? Depending on what happens on this drive, that's how we'll analyze it. If the other team scores, they scored too soon. If they somehow hold on, they managed the clock exactly right.
And he'll be brought down shy of the 20, so the decision to bring it out of the end zone, not a good one. The Browns' drive about to get started. They're sort of seeing themselves spiral out of control. Let's see if they can get things back on track.
And this is where the coach is walking that line of being calm and really being firm with his team. I had one tell me once, when we were having a tough patch, this too shall pass, this too shall pass. And then finally we kept having a rough patch. He said, but you've got to do something
Heads up.
to make it pass. And that's what they have to do. They've got to get some control back, get themselves reasserted, and calm things down.
See if they can get calm and reassert themselves here. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
On third down, it's Nick Chubb, and he's going to have the first down yardage as he's down at about the 30-yard line. Here's Watson. Pass complete to Chubb. Now the Browns signal for the second of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the game.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained, so they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He could make a man or two miss, but that window closed quickly. Watson to throw. A quick throw there going to be batted away and incomplete. Third and long coming up. Defensively, you pressure the quarterback or drape all over the passing lane?
Yes, that's exactly what you do. It's both because they're not mutually exclusive. They may have been at one time in football, but not anymore. You want to have that pressure, and if you have a big-time pass rusher, send him after the quarterback and then make sure you blanket the field.
And he comes back with one complete. And he gets this up across the 35 before he's out of bounds. So 8 yards on the completion there, and it'll be fourth down.
It didn't check off every box, but the most important one. Got the clock stopped, getting out of bounds. They may be a little short of the first down, but I thought that was the key.
Desperation time. Watson on fourth down. Into the hands of Cooper. And he will have the conversion on fourth down. He's out of bounds as well to keep their hopes alive. They keep the game alive, at least for the moment, as it's a first down. They got exactly what they wanted there. Out route, catch, get out of bounds, stop the clock.
And I have to criticize defense here because you know the situation. You want to keep them in bounds and have the clock run. So I'm sitting on the outside portion of the field and not letting them throw an out route. Throw anything inside and I'll make the tackle. An out route, that's not the way you're supposed to play it.
Now Watson. He's got his receiver, Cooper. And he's going to be taken down right at the 40-yard line. Back-to-back nice gains, that one for 14 yards and another first. That's a catch of some significance. It's number 631 of his career, and why that's significant, it ties him with Hall of Famer Raymond Berry.
Who was one of the most precise route runners at any position during his time in his career. So I think that we're seeing something very similar here. He may not have known Raymond Berry, but he goes about his business the same way. Understands how defenses are going to play, understands where the leverage is, and goes away.
And he's got it. It's caught for a touchdown. And they have taken the lead here in the final seconds. Charles, that drive was perfect, methodical, executed so well, and they grabbed that lead with almost no time left for a last gasp from the other side.
No way you could have drawn up a better final drive because not only did they keep their eyes on the end zone, but they made sure they bled the clock out as well and denied their opponent a chance to respond. That's just terrific situational football to end this one.
And with time a factor here late, he'll just take a knee and they'll put it out to the 25. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. Last time out, you remember their drive stalled, but thanks to their kicker, booted a long field goal to at least get them 3. Now here they'll try to do better and find the end zone.
And in our experience, how much fun is it for coaches to know that they've got a kicker who can nail it from long distance? Now, the hard part is, as an offensive play caller, you don't want that in your head too much where you're relying on it, and he goes out and gets the job done for them. But I'm quite sure he would be content to just kick extra points from here on out.
Yeah, absolutely no question. I think his teammates would be okay with him just kicking the extra points as well. They'll come up now 2nd and 4 from the 31. So they accept the penalty, of course, and push the offense backwards a bit. One last shot for Jackson. And it's incomplete. So their final drive comes up empty. And with that, the ball game is over. And a fun, close ball game comes to an end. On that last play, Charles, they were on the wrong side of midfield. They needed something near a miracle, and they couldn't get it done.
Yeah, the effort, that was good. Very good, in fact. They were just a little too far out to get a decent look at the end zone for that last opportunity. Couldn't get it done, but a nice game overall.
So for the Browns, it was a great all-around performance as they come out of this one with the victory. And they will head back home next week. Meanwhile, for Baltimore, they will fall to 1-1. And they'll try again next week at home against Philadelphia.